Okay, so it'd be good to start with some background on CyberSmart, a bit about the history, any key milestones, key personnel, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, of course. I'll give you the short version, short and sweet version. So I've been in cyber and technology for the last 15 years, either building technology solutions or helping companies do all the fun bits around data protection, from deep technical cyber, so think penetration testing, up to the really exciting bits, governance, risk, and compliance, things like ISO certifications. So I'm an ISO lead auditor and a security tester, so full spectrum. And CyberSmart really started from the realization that there was a massively underserved part of the market, and that's SME. So over the last 7 years, we've really been focusing on how can we bring good quality cybersecurity to SMEs with the help of the channel and our partners, particularly in the UK. So we've been focusing on how do we build the right product and what's the right proposition for that market. As I'm sure we'll come on to talk about, most of what's out there isn't really fit for purpose. Also, how do we utilize our channel and the partner network to really deliver not just cybersecurity but the full service wrap around that. So it's been a long journey. We've been through several milestones. I'm sure those of you that have been following us since the early days will see we've raised significant amount of funding through that journey. We passed 800 partners as well. So lots of milestones along the way, which I'm sure we can dive into a little bit more. But as any founder will tell you, and any CEO, this is just the start of our journey. We see our impact we're having on the UK and abroad is really just 0.1% of what we could do. So yeah, early days, 7 years in is still early days in my mind.
Okay, yeah, and the cybersecurity landscape, and no secret, it's crowded, it's quite complex as well. So how do you seek to position CyberSmart within, that busy landscape?
100% agree. I think every year it gets more crowded and more complexity. In a way, I think a lot of the traditional cybersecurity vendors have thrived in that environment. The harder it is for a CISO to choose between the solutions, the more likely they are to choose one of yours. Typical enterprises, you probably know this, has about 109 security products. The last survey I saw, typical mid-market firm has 45 security products. So you've almost got a bit of a whack-a-mole approach when it comes to cyber in the mid-market enterprise in particular. And there's a quote I always remember, an old advertising quote, which is half of my advertising works and half of it doesn't. I just don't know which is which. Now we obviously have digital, we have tracking, and so that's less true in the advertising space. If you look at cyber, you maybe say actually probably 90% of my cyber isn't working and 10% is. I just don't know which fits which. So really against that kind of backdrop, right? It's all about how do you cut through that noise and offer something that really does truly reduce risk for customers, for the end customers that partners are working with. And I think moving away from the point solution approach, so having a different technical solution for each aspect of cyber is definitely the starting point. This often, you could say it's a layered defense, but in reality, it's more like a plastered defense. You're putting together lots of different components and hoping that's going to stop things from getting through. So the way we position ourselves is offering a comprehensive platform that truly does give businesses complete cyber confidence. And it's all about how do you convey that in the product, in the risk reduction, in the actual results, in the outcomes, if you like. So that's how we position ourselves in the market.
Okay, and in following on from that, it'd be good to understand the technology solutions you offer, if you like, the component parts of the portfolio. Yeah, if you can just give us some background on those.
Yeah, of course. So we're all about the end result, which is complete cyber confidence. And in order to achieve that, there's several components, and a lot of this channel will know us for Cyber Essentials. We are the UK's leading certification body for that. We work closely with the NCSC. We actually went to their first ever accelerator 7 years ago. And so that's one of the components we've got in there. We then offer an audited version of that, Cyber Essentials Plus, which gives you extra technical validation. And again, backed by our amazing team, really, really good at helping companies to get from from zero to a good level of cyber maturity. But really, we always saw these things like certifications as starting points when it comes to your journey in maintaining good cybersecurity hygiene. So we offer our core technology called CyberSmart Active Protect. It's essentially a piece of software that ensures that not only the technical baseline stays in place year round, also the people and the process side is covered as well. So within there, we've got modules that the customers can go through to improve their cybersecurity culture, to implement good practice and governance. We've got tools for partners to manage things like end of life dates on operating systems and vulnerable pieces of software. So really start to layer on top of that. We've also got a privacy toolbox which helps around all the requirements of data protection legislation, or GDPR, as it's more commonly known. We wrap this all together in a nice bundle, which essentially gives customers everything they need in one place. That includes their certification, it includes enhanced cyber insurance coverage, which is a key part of risk management as well. It includes all the software they need to get and stay secure. So we make it really simple for businesses to have that full package in one.
Okay, and why do you think it's so important to develop cybersecurity products for the SME market as opposed to all shapes and sizes of enterprise? What is it about them that means that you need to develop something specifically for that market?
Well, I'll give you a counter example and then talk to you about what the two aspects we always think about when you think about that segment. So the counter example is you see a lot of enterprise software security solutions trying to come down into the small business market. They think this is great, we can get more customers and we can reach more people. The reality is, if you take an enterprise grade technology solution or security solution, it's often not fit for purpose for the smaller segment. So it might have all the bells and whistles and customization, but having a 2 to 4 week setup time with a 12 months time to value just isn't going to cut it for the small business. So when we think about our product, we really built it ground up from what our partners are telling us they need. We had a partner advisory board a couple of months ago when a partner says you're one of the only vendors that truly listens to the partner base. So we create the product in collaboration with our partners and their customers as well. So the product is really focused on that segment. And by that, I mean it's simple, it's accessible, it's comprehensive, and it does reduce risk. The other aspect, the one that's probably less talked about, is the commercial side of things. So all of our commercials are built with an SME in mind. So it scales down to 2 people in an organization up to several hundred in an organization. And with that in mind, you're not looking at 20, 30 grand a year fees for a point solution. You're looking at something that's very comprehensive, that's going to provide on a monthly basis or an annual basis very good protection. I'd say it's the best return on investment they'll have in their security stack.
And in terms of the benefits the CyberSmart solutions provide to the MSPs, the channel folks, and I guess also their customers. So for the MSPs and then the end users you've been talking about.
So for the MSPs in particular, I think it helps them if they're already starting to offer some security solutions, and most do. So I think antivirus or firewalls or email security. It allows them to move towards becoming a fuller service security provider, MSSP light, if you like. So it's a really nice way of them moving into offering a more managed security services that improves the value they can deliver their customers, improves the stickiness and the retention in their customer base, and ultimately it means they can offer a broader proposition that stops their customers going elsewhere to another MSP that's more security focused. There's quite a lot of surveys, I'm sure you've probably published a couple of them as well, where people would switch MSP to one that would help them more with their security. We want every MSP in the UK to be able to offer that more security so their customers don't need to go elsewhere to get that. I think from an MSP's perspective, the benefit is really clear. It means they can offer a fuller service. From their customer's perspective, it really allows a more comprehensive approach to cybersecurity. So coming back to delivering complete cyber confidence, there's nothing else in their stack right now that really is giving them that. They're getting reports and they get technical in some cases and board level in others, but none of them are really giving them the peace of mind they need to know that they're on top of this. So the benefit, the value, the end customer is huge.
Okay, and in terms of how the specifics of how you work alongside the MSPs, and as you mentioned there, MSSPs, the security providers, yeah, just what can people expect when they engage with yourselves?
I'd hope an absolutely incredible partner experience. We really do pride ourselves on this. We currently work with over 800 partners in the UK, and through distribution. And those partners really should get an amazing experience from the first time that they speak to us, through to their first customer, and hopefully many, many more. So really, that's about creating something that's specific for them in mind, and that includes everything from sales training and enablement, support, really, really, really good support. We've got rave reviews from the channel on our level of service and support quality too. And so it's really about supporting them on their journey, on their life cycle, helping them to win customers, helping them to best position the product within their stack as well. And so really they can expect that high level of service throughout, all the training and everything they need to get up and running with CyberSmart. We also offer them, through our partner program, access to their own security. So they get, not for resale licenses, we want them to be just as secure as their customers as well, if not more. So we really do help them on their own security journey as well.
Okay, and in terms of specific partners you work with, it'd just be good to understand a little bit about the CyberSmart relationship with Brigantia. I think that's in the UK and Ireland, and I guess in particular how you work, together to organisations to provide that support to the MSPs and the MSSPs.
Yeah, so we have a very good relationship with a very trusted partner that's actually helped us pretty fundamentally over the last few years to really shape our proposition for the UK channel. So really understanding what is it that MSPs need in the UK. And Brigantia has been a really good partner for us for a couple of reasons. One, they're dedicated on security solutions. So they're not a broad brush or broad channel distributor. So they really focus on managed security, recurring revenue for partners. They have a very good partner base that is very much in line with looking to upskill their own level of cybersecurity maturity, help their customers on that journey as well. So they've given us lots and lots of feedback, sometimes too much, on the product, which has been very helpful and has really, really refined the proposition and helped us hugely in educating the channel and reaching those partners. We run a lot of joint webinars with them as well.
Okay, and in terms of perhaps just broadening out the discussion before we finish, it'd be good to understand what you think of the cybersecurity challenges facing SMEs in particular over the coming months. And I guess that's their challenges, the opportunity for yourselves and partners. And I mean, kicking it off, no secret AI is sort of here, there, and everywhere. I guess it's a plus and a minus of security. The bad actors can use it for the nefarious purposes, but hopefully it can be harnessed for good as well. But yeah, just your thoughts as to the challenges for SMEs and hence opportunities for yourselves and partners.
Yeah, I'll come back to AI. I'll talk about something a little bit more present. The cost of living and how that affects MSPs. And I guess what we're hearing from our partners and the channel, and the advice we're giving to our partners, and this is nothing new really. Like the requirement to focus on delivery of value, on demonstrating outcomes has always been there. I think those pains are acutely more present nowadays. I think businesses are increasingly asking their MSPs as well as all their other suppliers, vendors, partners they work with, like, am I getting good value for money here? So I think it's really important that MSPs can demonstrate that, can convey that with the solutions they're offering. So really thinking about value for money, thinking about the equivalent cost of achieving things elsewhere, and looking at total cost of ownership. So I think a really laser sharp focus on ROI for their customers this year would definitely put them in good stead, working with their customers through the challenging times economic. They will pass and things will get better. But for now, I think it's really good to focus on solutions like CyberSmart, where they can really demonstrate a strong return on investment. So that's kind of probably a big challenge this year. Let's talk about, I guess, the something that's on the top of everyone's mind, AI. AI and cyber is a fascinating topic. I'll talk about, I guess, three aspects of it. The offensive side, because that's quite interesting. You may have saw the news article that came out, the finance person in Hong Kong, I believe, transferred 25 million US dollars. They joined a Zoom call that was just like this call. Was completely deep fake. They had the entire board of the company there, the CFO, everyone had been deep faked to convince this individual to transfer a lot of money actually into these different bank accounts. And that's probably a very extreme example. What you're going to see far more likely is tailored phishing emails, so things that actually do talk in the language of the person they're sending it from. So you know that you've seen the emails come through before, and they don't sound anything like the person because you know the person. You're going to start to see highly tailored, far more sophisticated aspects on that. Social engineering is a really strong use case for offensive AI. If we flip it to the other side, defensive side, I mean, there's no secret that most security vendors over the last 10 years or so have been looking particularly on how you can take a large amount of data and try and cut through that noise to identify anomalies, etc. So I think we'll see increasing applications around that. But where I see massive value for companies like CyberSmart, which help to bridge the gap from technical security concepts to something that's accessible and approachable, is turning that type of security data into something that makes sense for a non-technical user. So in other words, taking your risk reporting from all your different devices and security behaviors in the organization and conveying that in a way that's understandable, whether it's to a CTO, an MD, or a commercial director. What is the impact, or what's the impact of having this security status? So that's one of the bits we're particularly interested on. It's somewhere in the middle. It's how we can use AI to improve the consumption of our product, to make it more simple, more accessible, more understandable, and to produce different types of reports, things like that. So that's probably where we'll see most innovation that will benefit the channel and their customers.
I'm just wondering how much of an obligation do you feel under? You mentioned the example there in terms of the potential of bad. Clearly, you're selling solutions, etc. But do you also help educate end users as to be skeptical? As you say, if it looks like your best friend's in financial trouble and they want some money sent, how much of a responsibility do you think you as an organization have to educate folks to be very sort of cynical, skeptical as to any contact they have when it comes down to someone asking them for resources, money, whatever it might be?
Yeah, I think we have a huge responsibility. I think there's multiple facets of things like that. Spotting fraudulent emails, business email compromises is on the rise, and that will continue to do so. Increasingly, we're seeing things like SMS attacks and mobile phones because they're less well protected than desktop endpoints or laptops or servers. So that's a new attack vector that is increasingly in use. I think we broadly have a responsibility on both the technical lens, so putting in place good cybersecurity hygiene and controls, but also on the cultural side. So we take a very proactive role in helping our customers and our partners to create secure cultures within the organizations they work with. So in other words, cybersecurity needs to shift away from being point in time or a checkbox or something people just have to do to something that actually becomes part of the company. So at CyberSmart, we have secure by design and secure by culture we talk about. So building we're ISO 27001 certified, making sure that everyone in the company understands that from the first day they join and throughout their whole time with the company. I think if you scale that down a little bit to a regular organization, doing things like smaller, bite-sized, interesting security and relevant security awareness training is a good way of approaching that as well.
Okay, and maybe just in finishing up in terms of what the future holds for CyberSmart, I'm guessing you have lots of plans, perhaps many of them you can't share, but if you can give us some flavor of what's on the roadmap for CyberSmart, both in terms, I guess, of adding to your solutions portfolio and just developing. You say I think you've got 800 partners, whether you're I don't know, is thousands the target, whatever it is. Yeah, just how are you looking to develop the business?
So this first couple quarters of the year, we've been really focused on bringing a lot of new value to the market. So we've taken all of our existing applications, so CyberSmart Active Protect, and we've as well as several others, mobile, we've been looking at very closely. We've rebuilt a lot of those from the ground up. So there's the next generation of all of our applications is coming, new and improved across the board. So in the next month or so, you should see those coming out and being available. We've already got a few of those in beta. So if you are signing up as a partner, ask about those, and the team will give you access to those. So you can have a play with your own organization, see just how much better those are. So that's all our focus for the first half of this year. The next half of the year is really going to be focused on making sure that all the things that we've got, the modules in there, are as good as they possibly can be. So we've been improving across the full stack. We've got a pretty sizable investment in technology and research and development this year. So expect to see that come through in the product itself. Our partners often tell us that improve the product, spend your money on improving the product. In combination with that, we're also going to be investing even more in the channel. So we have generous marketing development funds. We've got a really nice partner program. We're going to be hosting lots of events for our partners and their customers throughout this year as well. So lots of investment in the channel itself as well.
Okay, I mean, it's been lovely to chat, and we covered a lot of ground. You gave some great insights into both CyberSmart, what's going on there, and the cybersecurity market more generally. So, Jamie, we really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Philip.